I'm an obstetrician gynecologist, and today we are going to do a thermo ablation procedure. We are going to use the WISAP thermo ablator. I'm just going to demonstrate the components of the WISAP thermo ablator. So it usually comes with a battery pack that should be pre-charged before the procedure. It also comes with a charger that plugs onto the power source, the socket, and then it has a cord as well that usually plugs onto the handle and into the battery. And then here we have the handle that has two buttons. It has a heating button and a timer as well. And then this is the slider, and we have the probe. These are the thermo probes. So to connect the thermo probe onto the handle, what you do, there is an arrow. You have to make sure that the arrows are aligned. So that arrow and that arrow, it goes in there. You'll hear a click, and then you turn it. Once you turn it, then it's secure, and the slider goes over the thermo probe. So the reason why you have the slider usually it moves forwards and backwards to protect the vagina when you're inserting the probe into the vagina. So when it's not in use, the slider always has to be forward. When you're using it, then you slide the slider backward. Before you use the device, first you have to make sure that the slider is pushed forward so that the probe is covered, and then after that you press on the heating. When you start the heating, what you're going to notice is that there is a flashing light, and then there is a light that appears at the on the handle. No? So we'll just let it heat first. You make sure you've taken consent from the patient. You've already done your staining, and the lesion actually is within the limits of what can be ablated. So you make sure you can see the whole of the lesion. The lesion is not covering more than 75% of the cervix. The lesion is not going into the endocervix as well, and that there are no signs of it being malignant. So once the light stops flashing, then it means that the heating is done and the probe is ready to use. For demonstration's sake, once you have your patient and your speculum is already in place, then you're going to advance your probe towards the cervix and make sure that the probe is in contact with the cervix, and then you start the timer. When you start the timer, you will notice that there is a blue light that comes on and it flashes. Then you will pull your slider back so that now the probe is exposed. Then you just let the timer count down. So when you hear the first sound, it means that the procedure is almost ending. There's going to be a second sound. And then there's going to be a third sound, that's a double sound. So it means now the procedure is done. What you're going to do is push your slider forward so that it's protecting the probe not to touch the vaginal wall. Then you withdraw. After that, the procedure is done. You can give your patient the post-procedure instructions. They might experience a bit of low abdominal cramping, some watery vaginal discharge. Sometimes they might even experience spotting or brownish discharge. But if they do experience any danger signs like fever or chills or a foul-smelling vaginal discharge, then they have to come back. And they should avoid activities like swimming or taking a bath in a bathtub. And then obviously they still have to continue with their annual screening. Thank you.